Hey everyone, my name is Danilo Petrovic.
I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Denis Kudla.
I'm Evgeny Donskoy.
I'm Henry Laaksonen.
I'm Peter Torebko, and you're listening to the Game to Love podcast.
Hey, welcome back, tennis fans. We had the men's quarterfinal preview. Now we are on to the women's, and where there was a lot of agreement on the men's side of things, something tells me we're not going to have similar opinions on the women's. It's always going to be exciting, this one. Bit of a potluck, I'd say.
Well, we don't know that for sure because we've not discussed them at all, if I'm honest. We've not spoke about them off air. So I don't know what Ben's going to go for. I don't know really what I'm going to go for.
I don't know what I'm going for.
But let's get into it. We do have the quarterfinals now for the women's. On paper, I've seen some people saying it's not that exciting. We've got Ross there sort of echoing it, saying these quarterfinals don't fill me with much excitement. I understand what you're saying, especially some of the ties, they don't. But there is some really cool stories. And the biggest story for me is what's happened with Elise Cornet. Doesn't get much bigger, in my opinion. I love what the story of the fact that someone who's tried so hard and been on the tour for so long, who's never really been able to amount to much or win many matches consecutively, especially in the slams. She's always there. She's not been able to break into the quarterfinal. She's finally been able to do it. And listen, watching her beat Halep was very emotional. I've seen all of the sort of aftermath from it. And yeah, it was a really special moment in tennis. And that, for me, makes it extremely exciting in itself.
She did it. I mean, what more can you say than that? Elise Cornet getting to her first ever Grand Slam quarterfinal. Just super happy for her. I mean, I love these type of stories as well. When you get somebody who's been in a sport for how many years, like you say, like 10 years potentially on the tour, and then they just finally start reaching like the potential that she had the ability all these years to do it, just kept falling down at that fourth round hurdle. Now she's done it. She's into the quarterfinals, and I don't think she's got anything to lose now. And that's the beauty of this thing. It's like one of these, we keep getting these every tournament, it seems. There's like a sort of fairy tale stories that keep on getting pushed through the narrative in a lot of these tournaments. We had the Peronkova one, remember, early last year. That was a really nice tale, 3 years off, then had an amazing run at the Slam. Now we got the Cornet one, and this one, I love it. I love seeing these type of things. People have been in a sport for a long time. People want to see them do well because you think that you've paid your dues, and now it's all coming to fruition, and good for her.
I mean, she's a good player. She's someone who works hard. Yeah. She's just not ever been at that extra level. And I know you said 10 years. You're underselling her, mate. 17 years now.
Yeah, exactly.
She played her first event in 2005 at Roland Garros, got to the second round, and still going 2022. There's nothing past the fourth round. It's just a sea of blue I'm looking at the moment. In terms of the percentages, they're pretty even across the board. 53% Australian Open, 53% of Roland Garros, 44% Wimbledon, 52% US Open. So she just about wins more than she loses on average, but just not enough to get it over the line. But she did do it here. She's done something special. She's into the quarterfinal. I'm thrilled for her. I really am. Can she go one step further? She's got a great chance to. It could be a lot worse in the quarterfinal for her, playing Danielle Collins. I know Collins is a top player, but it could have been a lot worse. It's not sort of I don't know, a real like a Grand Slam champion and say like a Muguruza or someone, is it? Or Naomi Osaka.
Well, that's just it, isn't it? I mean, yeah, I think you are right. It could be a hell of a lot worse, but
Or Serena Williams or something like that.
But Collins is there on her own merit as well. You got to remember that, and she's there from playing the type of tennis that scares other people, aggressive tennis. And I think John alluded to it earlier, like someone like Collins, she's angry when she's winning and she's angry when she's losing. And then you see her off court, she looks like a completely different person. She looks like happy as anybody. Like, she's never seen a happier person. So very, very focused person that she's up against. But I still think she has all the ability, Elise Cornet. And there's part of me that's
just beating Halep.
I'm rooting for her now. That's the weird thing. I'm actually now, she's sort of won me over. She doesn't really, she's never really done much for me, I think. But this story is too good to not get into.
Yeah, you can't ignore it. You can't ignore it. And I don't know if Kathy's here is talking about the Instagram story or message from Simona. It was a very sweet message. Don't know if you want to bring that up.
Yeah, apologies. 1 second. I'll just make sure I get the right one. This one. Yeah. No, not that one. Apologies. This one. Sorry.
Here we go. So, Simona Halep to Elise Cornet on Instagram. You have been stronger today. All the respect for you, Elise. Enjoy. I'll keep working to get better for another 3-hour match when we meet again. If you go down, we can actually see it. So this is what she was saying. And it's a really powerful image there. You can see Simona Halep at the net with just above her Cornet.
Yeah, there it is. I mean, yeah, powerful. Just to see how much it means to someone, like when you spend that amount of time plying your trade this is like a career at the end of the day. Like you don't get these opportunities very often in life. They come around 4 times a year, and she's been plying her trade for so many years, and it must be just infuriating for her. Falling down at that same hurdle, never making the second weeks and that type of thing. And now she's doing it. She's there. And I think one thing I want to feed into the narrative a little bit here, and I want to play into the hearts of everybody right now, because Elise Cornet, back in 2009, her highest ranking that she's ever achieved back then in February, she was at number 11 in the world.
Okay.
If she was to win the Australian Open,
she can't go better than that, can she?
She would move back up to 11 in the world.
Really? That's shocking. I'm surprised by that. I didn't think she'd go that high.
She's at 37 right now. She can she can go back to her best ever rank, and who knows if she gets to that, and what's the rest of the year have? We could see her best ever year on the tour. Like, this is that significant. If she can control her emotions, and she just plays with the freedom that she's been playing with in this tournament, Elise Cornet could potentially be the player of the year. But I'm putting that narrative out there now.
There is a lot more than just controlling emotions. Of course, she's got to be ability-wise good enough to beat what's put in front of her. Danielle Collins is going to be a favourite. Everyone who she's going to face is going to be a favourite against her. But yeah, never write off the underdog, especially in women's tennis. And I am going to be cheering on Elise Cornet. Another special moment here, what John's mentioning. I'm going to read this out.
Yeah, so and I think the interaction between Cornet and Djokic, who interviewed her on court after, was amazing. Cornet had match points against Djokic in 2009 in round 4 of the Australian Open, but Cornet lost that match. And that is, I mean, it's Djokic. She was obviously a semi-finalist at Wimbledon. Yeah, Djokovic was there as well. He popped on court, did a quick interview. Was that, what do you reckon, Cornet? No, they didn't play. It wasn't a Cornet versus Djokovic. It was Djokic, Elena Djokic. But yeah, it's just, she knows the journey that the tennis players go on, and she is somebody who has obviously she's never managed to make it. She was an amazing player, Djokic, and she only ever made it to the semis, but she knows that pain, and she never ever got to the quarterfinals of the US Open. She only ever made the fourth round there twice, so she probably knows exactly what she's going through there. And yeah, just love the empathy from fellow tennis players. It's beautiful, mate.
Yeah, Cornet was nice about her as well, saying how you are really smashing it with the commentary as well, and congratulations to you, and gave her a nice standing ovation. But yeah, the big talking point is Elise Cornet and her tennis. Can she beat Danielle Collins? Let's go back to the first graphic.
Yeah, I mean it's a big ask, isn't it? I mean, let's go. I've got to go down to this section. There they are. Well. Tough. Do you have anything to say about Collins and her performances so far in this tournament?
I've not watched enough of them, if I'm honest. One of the ones who have gone under the radar, I've probably watched the least of her out of everyone left. I know John's seen a couple of her matches. I know you covered one of her matches. So you're probably in a better place to talk about her. But I know she's a good player. I've seen some of the recent results, and there's a lot of green. She's won a lot of matches of late, even sort of prior to the Australian Open. She is the favourite going into this one as well. Pretty heavy favourite. I think Cornet is above threes. But if I'm honest, saying all of that, I'm going to follow my heart on this pick, and I'm going to have Elise Cornet beating her in 3.
Yeah.
The fairy tale continues for me.
They've both been 2-3 sets in their last 2 matches. And I would say, based upon the body of work going into this quarterfinal, Cornet has probably had the harder run. She's beaten Muguruza. She's beaten Halep. Yeah. And you look at Collins, she's had tough matches and she's played well, but she hasn't had the same level of competition. She's beaten Clara Towson. Granted, I love Towson. She's not ready yet, but she gave a great performance. And she's beaten Mertens, who I think we know
I think the Towson one's the most impressive. But with Cornet, as a good point from Lewis, I think she wants it more than anyone else. She has the hunger and desire and passion. She's had so much emotion of getting this far. She's going to want to do one step further. Let's go to the semis, girl. Come on. Let's do this. I want her to win.
As well.
I'm going Cornet in 3, definitely.
I'm doing exactly the same. They've both been going to 3. Their last 2 matches for both of these women have been in 3. It goes to 3 again. Collins, she is like an absolute rip-roaring forehand, backhand. She just goes for everything. But I just think that heart wins out overall, and Cornet just digs in deep and gets to a semi-final. The story continues.
Love that. Let's move up and we'll go to the number 1. It's very rare we don't start with that, but we had to touch on Elise Cornet first. I think that is the sort of magical story out of all of these ties.
Really
Barty
is.
Pegula, on the other hand, listen, I can't say too much about this match. I don't see a way Barty doesn't win in straight sets. I don't want to discredit Pegula too much. I think she's played well up to this point. She's not had any real... who's she beaten who's been of real note?
Who? Pegula?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, she's been through her last 3 rounds in straight sets. Sakari was the main name, though, that comes on that list. All the other people you'd think are beatable.
Yeah, and the Sakari one, I'm not that impressed by Sakari this whole event. I remember we touched on her the first match against Maria. I think she was just pretty lucky to get through that one. Wasn't great at all.
Wasn't good.
Sakari, it's not filled me with confidence to start of the year, so it's not the biggest of wins. And Pegula's just done what she's had to do. She's been impressive, but no match for Ashley Barty. I've seen so many cool tweets about her and really great statistics. There's people sort of comparing her to the likes of Roger Federer with how well she can compete in the rallies. She's got statistics very similar to him, sort of back in end of sort of 2017, 2018. And of course, this one, the big number 1 ranking scenario. If she is to win this match against Pegula, she remains and keeps her spot as world number 1. So I think she's going to be super hungry to keep that and maintain it. She's not looked like losing a set at all and been very, very strong in the matches she's played. I think she beats Pegula, and I think it's going to be straight sets.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to see it any other way, really. Obviously, Ash Barty, Wimbledon champion from last year. Australian Open runs have never been that simple, though. Obviously, last year she went out in the quarterfinals. The year before, she went out in the semi-finals. The year before that, the quarterfinals. And before that, she was only making the third round at best. I've got her as my favourite for the tournament for a reason. You've seen the level of competition that's been thrown in front of her, and everybody's been actually pitting the questions in our comments and stuff like that. And I tell you to do the same again. I want to hear it in the comments sections, because we had a lot of people saying, Georgie, she hits the ball so hard, it's so clean. Surely she's going to be the one to trouble Barty. Straight sets.
Yeah, but I feel like Georgie did the best.
She did really well. She gave a good account of herself. But Anisimova, she just defeated Osaka, the reigning champion. Surely now she can just take it to Ash Barty on the court. Straight sets.
Nah,
it's
going to be the same.
Another level. It's another level. I'm going the same. Yeah, I'm going the
Yep.
same as you. I'm going to Ash Barty. I think she gets it done in straight sets. And sadly, it sounds boring, and I am boring, Ben, but that's what I'm going for.
It's not boring here. I think it's going to happen. Gary, just talking about the Cornet, saying, sad reality is Cornet probably doesn't have enough to get through, but she's one of the reasons we love sports. She is 100% class. Yeah, I agree completely with that, Gary. Certainly is.
Doesn't have a
Barty's
button yet
class
either.
as well. She is a class act.
Barty has a new button as well. And that's another reason I think that she'll go far as well in this tournament. Cornet, no button yet. So let's wait and see if she gets if we get to cover her match, then we might get a fresh new button out. So
let's move over to the right, and we've got Krejcikova, Madison Keys. And if you go back to that other tweet about the world number one.
Yes, exactly right. I was going to.
This is important here. So if Barty does not advance to the semi-finals, so say if by some miracle Pegula beats her and Krejcikova wins the whole of the Australian Open, she then becomes world number one.
Wow. I think
what
there's
a
a
rise
real
that would be. Sort of from Roland Garros as an actually unknown sort of doubles player, because that's pretty much what she was up until that point. I forget where she was in the rankings. She was like 100 and something, or
she was
70.
Yeah, just around 70.
It wasn't great, put it that way. She was not in contention to win Roland Garros. She won the whole thing, and ever since, not looked back, been incredible. One of the more consistent players on tour, and she's now knocking on the door of becoming world number one.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And when are people going to start putting the respect on Barbora Krejcikova's name that she
starting
deserves?
With you, because didn't you not include her in your top 10?
What?
Did you
not? I
not?
don't think so. I can't remember now at the moment. Don't put me on the spot. I can't remember.
I think you did. I'm not sure if you included her.
I don't know. I literally can't remember. So,
all right. Well,
I wish I could go back and just check now. Maybe I've got it actually. I've probably got it on a notepad. Just bear with me 1 second. If
Let's
I haven't, then it's going to be really embarrassing for me, because because she's one person I've been going on about for the last 2 years. And then if I've not done that,
mate, listen, you know the most embarrassing thing is I could be saying this because I'm the person who didn't include her. I think one of us didn't include her, but I forget who it was.
I have it on a notepad, because I remember when we did our predictions, I write them all down on a notepad. So bear with me. Hang on, we got the end of year awards there. Player of the year. I know, going back a bit further.
Sure. No, it's not that far, mate. We did it this year, so
okay.
It doesn't matter. We can sort that out another time.
No, here we go. She's not.
She's not.
Wow,
yeah.
she's not.
I wasn't sure if you did.
Wow, that is big disrespect. So, Ben, what are you doing? Put some respect.
You're saying about people putting respect on her name. I thought I had to call that because I did have a memory of, I wasn't sure if it was me or you, but one of us definitely didn't include her.
No, massively. Great call.
A slap on the wrist there.
Yeah, literally. Terrible. Barbora Krejcikova, she's one of the ones I've been talking about for so long, and now she's finally doing well. It seems like I've listening to all the hearsay. Now, because of her terrible run at the back end of last year, I got recency biased in my predictions. So shame on me. But Barbara,
they're saying forgetful Ben. I like it. Well, I think he's forgetful when it's one he wants to forget. It's always easier to forget things you don't like.
Well, that's it. Well, I do like her, so I should have remembered. But yeah, terrible. I think that she has a real chance of winning the whole thing. Not going to lie. I think she really does. That's how crazy things can change in tennis. Yeah, she can. Well, she wins this, of course. She can go
I'm
world
only-
number
I'm only
one.
pulling your leg.
She can go world number one. This is madness. Like, how crazy is it? Like we were talking about at the back end of last year. God, she's fallen off. Look, she's not even the same player. She was a fluke that she won the French Open. Now look, it's not a fluke. Look at her. She's there. She's in the last 8. She could
Yeah.
easily beat Madison Keys. I'm not
As
going to.
Kathy calls it, selective forgetting.
Yeah, it's like selective hearing, isn't it? It's the same sort of thing.
Let's go back to the matchup anyway, Ben.
Yes. Anyway, yeah. Okay, you take us through.
Krejcikova, Madison Keys. We've covered Madison Keys.
Yeah.
And she beat Paula Badoza, right?
Yes, she did.
Good match. Paula Badoza recently dropped out of the event she's playing in afterwards, which suggests maybe she is suffering with some kind of injury. She had a lot of strapping on her shoulder. And I believe I forget which leg it was, but on her leg.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's been struggling with a bit of fatigue and fitness. But I wouldn't read too much into it. I thought Madison Keys was outstanding. Brilliant. Really, really good and encouraging. Great to see her back playing her best tennis.
Yeah.
Can she beat Krejcikova? She certainly can.
Oh, for sure.
And out of all of the ties, I find this one the toughest to call. I know you're probably going to go Krejcikova. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I don't know which way to call it. I think based off what we've seen from Krejcikova, that's the sensible pick. And that's why I'm going to go that way. But it is a tough one. I'm going to go Krejcikova in 3.
Yeah. I mean, I was really impressed with Azarenka leading up to the match with Krejcikova. And then I don't know how she does it. It's almost like Azarenka, I don't know if she played her best, but you have to play your best against Barbara. Otherwise, she'll find you out. She just gets everything back. She gets everything consistently close to the baseline as well. I noticed against Azarenka, it was really good shots, really deep. But then we go to Madison Keys. Sure, what she did against Badoza. Anything short,
winners.
Anything short, good luck. You're not returning that.
The backhand was on fire.
Bang, everything gone. Winners, winners, winners. It's tough to call. Krejcikova,
which way are you going?
I'm going to go for the story instead. And I'm going to, unfortunately, disrespect Krejcikova. I'm going for the story. I'm going to go Keys in 3s.
Okay, fair enough. Let's move on.
I've got a Cornet story and I've got a Keys story. I'm going for all the big stories.
And what's the furthest? I know you've got Keys' stats there. I don't have them ones. I was wondering if you were going to bring them up.
Yes,
and talk about
Madison Keys. So the best result she's had is in 2015 when she got to the semi-finals. She also got to the quarterfinals in 2018, been to a 4th round in 2019, 3rd round in 2020, and then wasn't there last year. So she's obviously been to the final of the US Open, as we know, another hard court one, and the semi-finals of the French. So she's of high stock. Yeah. I've not seen her play this well in so long.
Oh, she had a terrible 2021. One to forget, but she does seem to be back now.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go against you there. Maybe just to the fact I don't have Krejcikova.
Yeah, maybe because you bottled it. Because you started off saying everyone disrespecting Krejcikova, then you didn't include her in the top 10, and now you've gone against her again. So
I think
you're a bit of a hypocrite there.
She's not in my top 10, so the fact you brought that up, I think I'm gonna have to stick with my other predictions. I think I've got to go for it.
Lost his head.
I know.
Let's have a look at the other quarterfinal. Arguably my favourite one on paper. I do like this matchup. Kanepi. What's she nicknamed? Do you have to tweet?
1 second. The nickname of Kanepi is here.
The giant killer. That's what she's known as. Kanepi achieves a career quarterfinal slam at age 36. She's one more Australian Open quarterfinal away from the double career quarterfinal slam. The giant killer is an impressive 9 out of 10 versus top 10 players in majors, and she faces Iga next.
Wow, I appreciate that super chat there, cheers, Fatima. Saying thanks for streaming the Nadal Chapo. It was preempting it. Hopefully we wake.
We got to now. We're gonna be there.
I'm not gonna go to sleep. I'll stay up just to make sure, and then I'll be. I'll send someone round to JG's just to like scoop him out of bed. If not,
yeah, it's very generous, Fatima.
Appreciate that.
Covering that tonight. Make sure you join us, guys. But back to the giant killer.
Yes.
Can she beat Iga? Iga didn't struggle through against us there, but she made it difficult. Wasn't an easy match, but she did it. That's the most important thing. And if you want to go back to the graphic.
Yeah, I think it was tough, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah,
the
it
easiest.
wasn't easy, but Sestea was playing really good. And you've got to remember, Iga is so young. She's another really young prospect. She's someone who people criticize a lot, I've noticed on Twitter. And it's been getting under my skin for so long now. And I keep talking about it because why is she being criticized for such a young Grand Slam champion who won Roland Garros and blitzed all the opponents? And then afterwards, she didn't win every event after. She was doing well, getting through events and quarterfinals, semi-finals, not necessarily winning them, but then got criticised. Why was she criticised?
She's 20.
And why, if she's to be criticised, why wasn't Raducanu criticised? Why is it different treatment for both of them when Raducanu is treated as a star child for pulling out with blisters, but then Iga Swiatek gets ripped to shreds when she loses.
She's not, but she's been
I find
run
there
through
a big
the mill
bias on Twitter, and it does wind me up.
Oh well, I don't go on Twitter too much, but I still think that there's been the level of criticism over Raducanu and her results.
I don't see any criticism for Raducanu.
Maybe it's just the way that she's just coming out in the media after her losses, though. She's coming out and she's just pretty much saying, "I've only not even
been
played."
The most humble person you could ever be in a loss, though. So
she hasn't played. She's always got the narrative. I haven't played a year on tour yet. I've only played 6 months on tour. I can't be expected to. I'm learning all the time. And people look at Iga, even though she's only a year older, they look at her as somebody more experienced, which is crazy. And she hasn't even played that much longer on tour. But credit to Iga Swiatek. I think that she just keeps on improving, and she's not listening to the naysayers. I don't think she should. I think she's number 9 in the world now. I think she goes higher. I think her ceiling is she's a future world number 1. That's for sure in my eyes. I don't think that there's any doubt in my mind. Clay court, she could easily win multiple Grand Slams. Hard courts, I think she's got a few of them in her too. Yeah. And grass as well.
Eye colour check here, just so you know, I'm not making this up. Sorry, talking about Emma, because then Emma gets stick as well. So then Emma gets heat from other players. Panetta said she was not impressed. Yeah, of course she's going to get the stick, but I feel like, for me, what I've seen, Iga does seem to get a lot as well. But yeah, looking at this matchup,
John's giving me some stick as well. So we know you don't go on Twitter that much. Just as well, 71 followers. Is that all I've got?
Attacking you.
Oh, John,
well, go follow Ben on Twitter if you haven't already.
I think John's a bit hurt that I was bringing up his Seppi pick from the from his bracket from earlier. It's fine. It's all right. I'll find some other one. I saw another one. He was saying, "Look, you don't have to search my brackets. Here's all of my picks." It's all right, mate. We got to the last stages now. It's easy to pick now, isn't it? Anyway,
and on Kai Kanepi, I'm just looking through. I've got all her results here. 2008, she got to her first quarterfinal. The last one was 2017. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in total. Never got there in the Australian Open. She's got there now. Can she go one step further? No. I think Kai Kanepi is going to be that type of person who gets to quarterfinals, and that's going to be the pinnacle for her career. I'm not sure if she has that extra step. She did brilliant to beat Sabalenka, but it is a misfiring double Sabalenka at the moment with all the double faults firing left, right, and centre. On that basis, I'm going Iga to win this one, and I'm pretty confident in that selection. It's going to be straight sets Iga.
I think it's going to be Iga, but I'm going to be going in 3. I still think that she has a lot of firepower. I haven't been as impressed with Iga this tournament. She's still doing it in straight sets other than the last round. I just think Kanepi's got something she's got serious power. She can always grab a set. She's the bogey player for most people on tour. And the fact she's got this far, I think she'll have some fight. I think she might even grab the first set and then she might fall away and Iga will take over. I think we've seen that with Iga. She can drop a first set. She dropped the first set against Sestea and then you see her she sort of switches on a bit. Like, okay, now go into a beast mode where we're going to take this match now. And I think that's what's going to happen again. Iga in 3.
Yeah. I'm really impressed with Iga. Just looking at her in slams, by the way, she's played 40 matches in Grand Slams now. She's won 30 of them, lost 10. That is seriously impressive.
Solid.
Yeah.
Solid.
Consistent. Obviously, Wimbledon's the one she needs to improve the most.
I think it's interesting with Kanepi as well. Like, obviously, we go back to the sort of the back end of last year. Kanepi's playing ITFs. She won an ITF at the back end of last year in Fort Worth, playing players who in the final who are like 400 in the world. So now she's here. Just goes to show you keep on plugging away. And Kanepi, she's just there. She can mix it with anybody.
Yeah.
Mad,
And there was a
isn't
nice sort of comments from her after the match. I don't know if you want to bring that up.
Yeah, sure. Just make sure I get the right one. Is that this
WTA
one?
Insider.
That one? No, that's
Here we go.
Swiatek.
That's the one. Yep.
Okay.
So I don't have a good stat in terms of coming back after losing the first set. These kind of matches are going to give me a lot of confidence for the future, because coming back from losing in the first set versus a player who's constantly going forward is pretty hard. And I did that. So that is a really, really good bit of analysis from her herself. She doesn't do well when she loses the first set. She was even able to overcome that this Australian Open. Always improving, always on the rise. Listen, she's my pick to win the whole thing. I'm hoping it can happen.
I think it can definitely happen. I'm not going to lie to you. That's why I had her in my final as well. Barty and Iga on a collision course. Surely she can get past one more round, get herself to a semi-final.
Yeah, we've got Jean there saying Iga 29-2 versus players outside the top 30 in slams. So, yeah, I think she should be okay. But going back to the second now, Ben.
Yes.
So here we go. These are the matches. Just to clarify your picks.
Yeah, I've got to try and remember them now. I've got Barty in 2.
Yep, I've got the exact same.
I'm going Keys in 3.
Yeah, I went Krejcikova in 3 because I'm not disrespecting her like you.
I know. I feel like I've already disrespected her, so I've got to continue the theme, unfortunately. I feel bad. Like, I feel like we're swapping around with all of our players that we follow, the Icon GTL. I don't know why. I feel like I don't know. There's been a few players like this that we've sort of swapped over, like the Towson and Fernandez. You were always big on Towson. I was always big on Fernandez. And I feel like we've changed roles. You're now the biggest Fernandez, and I'm now the biggest Towson. Anyway, we go on to Collins, Cornet. We both got Cornet, haven't we?
Yeah, I think it's a heart one. Collins is the big favourite, but Cornet in 3. And the bottom one, we've both gone for Iga in 2, right? Oh, no, I've gone Iga in 2. Ben's gone Iga in 3.
In 3, yeah. I think Kanepi, I was really impressed with her against Saber, to be honest. I think that she's got so much firepower. Saber's a powerful player, and she was able to just sort of wipe her off the court in certain points. It was an exciting match. But, yeah, Kanepi is that big, strong player. But overall, the youth, and then I think she's just going to have more firepower over 3 sets. Swiatek.
Yeah, well, there we go. That is our quarterfinal predictions for this year's Australian Open on the women. We've done the men's one as well. Go check that one out if you haven't already. Make sure give us a like on this one, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you all for the big one later on. Rafael Nadal versus Shapovalov. There's going to be drama. There's going to be a few Vamoses. I'm hoping Rafa gets it done nice and quickly. It's going to be a tough one for us as well during the middle of the night. So hopefully we see as many of you there. We do need all of your support to go through the night. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, and see you guys very, very soon.
Yes. Rafa.